Lil Pump went from being the face of SoundCloud rappers and racking up billions of streams to falling off the face of the earth and losing his whole fan base within just a couple of years. So where did it all go wrong? This is the wild story of how Lil Pump fumbled the bag and destroyed his career in record time. Let's get right into it. Lil Pump had a crazy childhood coming up in Miami. His parents came over from Colombia, but they divorced when Pump was 6 and he started getting wild. He was always in trouble at school, and it only got worse when he linked up with his homie Smoke Perp. Pump's cousin Lil Ominous introduced him to Smoke Perp when he was around 13, and the two of them hit it off from the jump. Pump was already making music and trying to be a producer, but Pump never thought about taking the rap game seriously. Pump was getting kicked out of schools all the time, and eventually had to enroll in an opportunity high school, which is basically just a secondary school where they put all the worst kids who can't stay out of trouble. But Pump was too wild for that, and he was kicked out in his sophomore year for getting into fights and starting to riot. By that time, Smoke Perp was already going hard with his music. And before Pump ever hopped in the booth, rap fans already knew him as the wild dude who always hung out with Smoke Perp. Eventually, Smoke Perp convinced Pump to freestyle over a beat he produced, and the track became Pump's debut single on SoundCloud. His first track ran up decent numbers, and that's when Pump knew he could actually make it in the industry. He followed it up with tracks like Elementary, Gang Shit, and Ignorant, and each one of them racked up millions of plays. Pump only had a few tracks out, but his name was already buzzing like crazy, and in 2016, he co-headlined the No Jumper Tour and even performed at Rollin' Loud. Pump kept the momentum going with tracks like D-Rose and Boss. Both songs went crazy on SoundCloud, and D-Rose popped off even more after Pump linked up with Lyrical Lemonade for the music video. Pump was making a name for himself in the rap game. He was making headlines for acting wild on social media too. Thousands of people were following just to watch him drink lean and destroy hotel rooms. His fans loved Pump's whole image and personality, but he already had a lot of haters who thought he represented everything wrong with the rap game. But Pump's haters gave him just as much attention as his fans, and all the buzz on his name led to him signing a deal with Warner Brothers Records when he was still just 16 years old. His debut album was supposed to drop in August 2017, but the record got pushed back, and instead, he released the track that changed everything. By August 2017, Lil Pump was already on his way up. He'd only been in the game for a year, but had millions of streams, a tour, and a major record deal all before he turned 17. A lot of people thought his career would fade out fast, but then Pump dropped Gucci Gang. Pump had some hits already, but Gucci Gang was next level. The video hit 1 billion plays on YouTube and launched Pump into the mainstream spotlight, and in 2017, you couldn't go anywhere without hearing the track. More haters jumped in and said Pump and other SoundCloud rappers were killing hip-hop, but Pump was impressed about him. He was at the top of the game, and his fan base was growing every day. A lot of rappers weren't rocking with the new generation, but Pump still got features from legends like Gucci Mane, Chief Keef, and 2 Chainz for his debut album. The record dropped in October 2017 and debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200. Pump was scoring wins like crazy, and he kicked 2018 off with another big one. Pump signed his deal with Warner when he was still a minor, and the label fumbled the whole process, and their contract was voided in 2018. Pump still had the money they gave him, but now he was an independent artist who didn't have to stick to a contract. When the news about the deal broke, every label in the game wanted to sign Pump, but instead of signing with someone else, Pump stuck with Warner Brothers and got an $8 million bag out of him. What was even crazier about the deal is that it was only for one album. Getting that much for one project never happens, which just proves how popular Pump really was back then. 2018 was a wild year for Pump. He got $8 million for an album, was featured in XXL's freshman class, and blew up even more when he dropped the track I Love It with Kanye West. He was still making hits and getting paid, but this is where everything started falling apart. Pump's wild behaviors will help him gain more fans on social media, but in 2018, he started getting into serious trouble. That February, he was arrested for discharging a weapon in an inhabited place. His manager claims that 3 dudes tried to break into Pump's home and they ended up shooting the door. But later, the cops discovered that the shot had actually come from inside the house. They booked Pump for shooting the gun and even opened an investigation on his mom for endangering a minor. Then in August, he was booked to Miami for driving without a license. He told his fans that he was going to jail for a few months because he violated parole, and that's why he had to cancel his new tour. But then, just a couple weeks later, he showed up on Saturday Night Live. Pump was arrested 2 more times in December, but none of the charges were serious, and it doesn't seem like he's ever had to serve any real time. But legal issues weren't the only thing that hurt his career in 2018. Way back in 2016, Pump called J. Cole out on Twitter and said, "I'm better than J. Cole. F all that lyrical shit." And in 2017, a snippet came out of a J. Cole diss track that Smoke Perp had produced. In January 2018, Smoke Perp said he and Pump were just trolling with all the J. Cole dissing, but then a few months later, the beef got real. In April 2018, Cole dropped the track 1985 and called out the whole new wave of rappers. He didn't call Pump out by name, but fans connected a few bars to him like, "I'm just telling you it's probably gonna happen when you rapping, about the type of shit you rapping about. It's a faster route to the bottom. I wish you good luck. I'm hoping for your sake that you ain't as dumb as you look. But if it's really true what people saying, and you call yourself playing with my name, then I really know you trust. I'll be around forever, cause my skills is tip top. To any amateur that wanna get rocked, just remember what I told you when your shit flop. In 5 years, you gonna be on Love and Hip Hop." Pump clapped back and clowned Cole for dissing a 17-year-old.
Get so much props. You diss a 17-year-old. Lame ass jit.
Fans thought Pump might send another diss track, but the beef got squashed before the situation really heated up, and they even sat down for an interview together. The end of 2018 was rough for Pump. He was called out for being racist against Asians when he previewed the track Butterfly Doors and said things like Ching Chong and "they call me Yao Ming cause my eyes real low." There was a lot of backlash online, and Pump came out with an apology video on IG and changed the lyrics when the track was officially released. Besides the controversy, Pump had canceled the Harvard Dropout tour and pushed the album back too. In February 2019, Pump finally released Harvard Dropout. The album debuted at number 7 on the Billboard 200, but none of the tracks went viral, and critics hated it even more than his first record. The rest of the year wasn't great for Pump either. It was clear that his fans were moving on, and Pump was starting to prove all of the haters right. He tried to get back in the spotlight in 2020 by announcing his retirement, but everyone knew it was just another clout chasing stunt, and Pump came back just a few days later and announced his new album will be called Lil Pump 2. He only dropped a few tracks that year though, and none of them ran up numbers like his old music. Pump also lost a lot of fans when he endorsed Donald Trump's re-election, and it got even worse when Trump introduced him as Little Pimp at a rally. 2020 was bad, but 2021 was a nail in the coffin for Pump's career. He dropped a track with Tory Lanez that racked up a couple million streams, but then he released a project that proved his career was over. In December 2021, Lil Pump and Ronnie J linked up for a surprise collab album called No Name. They didn't advertise the project at all, and the numbers show that Pump doesn't really have fans waiting for him to release new music. The record completely flopped, and the track with Tory Lanez is the only one that even hit 1 million plays on Spotify. By that point, it was clear to pretty much everyone except Lil Pump that J. Cole was right about what was going to happen with his career. But in 2022, Pump was still trying to get things moving again. He told fans that Lil Pump 2 would be coming soon. But then in November, he hopped on IG and said,
"I lost my hard drive to LP2. I lost it in the middle of a lake. I can't find it. Can you please help me find it? Please help me, please!"
Plus, he lost even more fans when he clowned Russ for canceling his tour due to mental health issues. Russ told his fans he couldn't tour because of some serious personal issues he was going through. So Pump posted a video and said,
"You think you got mental health issues? I'm from Dade County. I was born with mental health issues. How about you deal with it and stop being a
Even though he was losing more fans every day and nobody was listening to his music, Lil Pump still went on Bootleg Kev's podcast and said J. Cole was wrong about his career. When Kev asked him if he thought Cole was right, Pump just said, "Because I'm still here. I got 2 houses." I don't think he predicted shit. But speaking of houses, Lil Pump might be losing his. Back in 2021, the IRS filed a lien on his home in Miami because he owes $1.6 million in back taxes. Pump told Kev that J. Cole was wrong, but apparently he wasn't happy with how the interview went down. When Sweetie went on Bootleg Kev's podcast later, Kev revealed that Pump's management tried to stop him from posting the interview.
His manager was like, "You can't put that interview out." Like out of nowhere. And I was like, "What do you mean I can't?"
Obviously, Kev released the interview anyway, and that's when Pump decided to leak his phone number to get back at him. Lil Pump is still teasing his Lil Pump 2 album, but there's no telling if it'll ever come out. He's been trying like crazy to get back in the spotlight, none of it's working out for him. Lately, he's been doing shows overseas, and a few weeks ago, Pump went viral for popping up in Tokyo and not getting any reaction. A video came out showing Pump standing in the middle of a busy street while everyone just walked right by him. You can tell Pump thought he would get mobbed by fans when he touched down, but it looks like his fans in Japan have forgotten about him too. The SoundCloud era was wild for a few years, but the tread is dead and gone, and Pump never evolved to keep up with the game. There's always a chance he could drop another viral hit and get popular again, but at this point, he should probably just accept that the industry moved on without him and find a different way to pay back the IRS. Falling off is tough, but it's still better than being homeless.